Canadians used to be justifiably proud of their health system. It took care of them. Now we're hearing, in the midst of this pandemic, that we aren't going to have the vaccine. Depending on which ministry you listen to, it's going to be a number of months. Other countries have it. Britain has it. Why don't we? Francesca Grosso is an eminent public health and medical expert. She joins me right now because I want to know what happened.
Well, you're too kind. I'm a policy person, not a medical
you know
expert.
All this stuff.
But let's start with, what went wrong? Well, first of all, Canada had two major priorities with regards to the vaccine, and they should have been laser focused on those. The first was to procure the vaccine from countries that produced it and bring it into Canada quickly, and the second was to be able to organize some licensing agreements so that we could start to produce vaccines here in Canada like we do the flu vaccine. Right. So if failure were a batting average, these guys would be batting 1,000. They failed on both of these priorities.
Why? Was it because no one was paying attention? They were paying attention. They were trying to.
Well, I think there are three reasons. Let me run through these. The first is basic incompetence. You have a government that has to be laser focused on what's important, getting access to efficacious vaccines quickly for Canadians. Instead, they had all kinds of priorities. They were making apps for COVID. That, you get this app, it's supposed to tell you who else has COVID, only people aren't reporting that they have it. So this was something that, to me, they should have really prioritized. The second reason, to me, is really what Canadians have to think long and hard about. This government, the federal government, is very, very against Big Pharma. They are against innovative pharmaceutical companies because they don't trust them, because they think they're charging too much, because they basically have a distrust. And you don't have to listen to the rhetoric about how much they believe in innovation. Take a look at the policies. We have people with no drug plan, a serious problem that needs to be corrected. But what are they going to do? They're going to put in place something that is going to kill innovation. So I am not surprised. So
is that ideologically?
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, look, you have other countries that lined up behind Pfizer and Astra, and they started negotiating hard to make
sure. You guys are the pros. We need it. Get it.
Right. Where were we? We were dealing with the government of China. And then when that fell through, then we got in line, but we were late to the dance. So I'm not trying to make a big plug for Big Pharma here, but understand this, Stephen, that when this happens, we can say Big Pharma is slick and they charge too much. At the end of the day, they are going to get the world out of this pickle. It's not going to be the government. It's not going to be Justin Trudeau. It is going to be the innovative pharmaceutical companies, like it or not. But I think that's a huge problem, and it goes into the second issue with this government. They are ideologically very much linked to the notion that government knows best. We're going to do it ourselves. So, for example, other countries have negotiated licensing agreements. They're going to do local production, right?
And we could produce it here in Canada if we had a licensing agreement.
Right. Absolutely right, because we have places that actually produce vaccines in Canada. The flu vaccine is produced here.
Right.
But what happened? The government decided in its wisdom that actually it was going to build its own facility in Montreal. It spent your money, my money, your money, $44 million to create a facility that will be ready, guess when? In June of 2021, if we're lucky, because it's not up to standard, because they're having problems. This is why we are behind other countries, and this could have been prevented.
And it's probably going to cost lives in Canada.
It's going to cost lives in Canada for sure.
Francesca, longer than 3 minutes, but it's important. I wanted to get this out, and thank you very much for the explanation.
You're welcome.
Longer than 3 minutes. The numbers are in, and it's obvious that more and more people are watching this show because you are getting the precise and concise news that you would not get on the mainstream media. And in the meantime, I guess we're cheesing a few people off. That's clear from the fact that Randy Hillier, MPP, was censored. You can see my views on that on stephenledrew.ca. So we have to keep this going. We started it as a project. We are running out of money. If you know someone who wants to advertise or to sponsor this, please fill in the form because we are determined to keep this news on the air for you.